Well, guys, the Bad Batch is over, and can I first just say, what a great show, great characters, fun storyline, although I did kind of hate Omega, not gonna lie. Anyway, now that the show's over, I'm going to be telling you guys my top 10 set ideas, or set predictions, if you will. Predictions and ideas both kind of work for this video, because these ideas are sets I've kind of built up in my mind, but I also think they're pretty likely for LEGO to do. They're not really unrealistic, I think, personally. Anyway, we're going to be going from least likely to happen to most likely to happen, at least in my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about my list. Number 10 here, we have a V-Wing. It showed up quite a few times in the show. Not really a big part of the show. There were just a few chase scenes where the V-Wing was present. The last one we got was in 2014, I believe, so it's just about time for a remake. So I figured now would be a good time for them to release one in the Bad Batch wave, which hopefully will come out next year. Number 9, I thought that there could be a playset cantina where Maz would be hanging out with Omega, because we're definitely getting an Omega minifig at some point. I just don't know when. Now, of course, why wouldn't you want an underaged Omega in a bar with some green lizard lady? It seems like the perfect set to me. Definitely no need to label that as an 18 and up set. But if that set were to happen, I would expect to get Maz, Omega, and maybe one or two just random other people. And then maybe just a small counter. I'm kind of basing this off of like old Cantina sets we've gotten from Mos Eisley. So maybe just some walls, a small little bar area, and maybe even part of Maz's office. I'd expect that set to be $40 or $50 depending on how big it was. But again, I don't think it's very likely. But Omega and Maz are characters that I think LEGO should make. And that would be the easiest way to include both of them in one set. Now, at number 8 here, this one is kind of a two-parter because I think LEGO might make one or the other of these, but not both. I think there's potential for them to make Cad Bane ship or Fennec Shan's ship. Now, I don't think they'd make both. Bane ship would be really easy to do because it's basically the Magna Guard ship, and I believe that was back in 2011 or something, and they could really just upgrade that design, throw Cad Bane and Omega in it, and call it good. I think this is another set where Omega could be included, either with Cad Bane or Fennec. The only problem with Fennec is they'd have to make a whole new ship for her. They don't really have pre-existing models of what she was flying around. Luckily, they already have her minifig, though. I'm guessing they'd make a new Cad Bane for his ship, and for LEGO that seems to be a no-go, especially for cheap sets, and that just doesn't make sense with what they said about Phase 2 Commander Cody, but anyway, I'm not going to get off on that right now. Either way, I think Cad Bane or Fennec ship makes a lot of sense from the show. Two really great bounty hunters, very liked characters, and again, we're trying to get Omega in a set in this list as much as possible, because if we don't see that minifigure next year, I'm planning on committing several crimes in Denmark. Now, with both of these sets, Bane's ship is a lot smaller, so I could see his ship as maybe a $40 set. Now, Fennec's ship is a lot bigger, but I'm sure LEGO would size it down since you just can't put that many minifigs in it. So for both of these sets, I'd expect between $40 or $50 as a price point for those. Next up, we have 3 sets coming up here that are all pretty similar as far as what I expect for them, and I just don't think they're going to happen. They are 3 really good sets that are in dire need of a remake. This first one here, I really don't think they're going to do because of the new release on August 1st, and that is a Playscale gunship. It showed up a lot in the Bad Batch. It would look great with some Phase 2 clones, maybe an Imperial officer or two, and some pilots. That's all we'd really need. It'd be a great set. Everybody wants a Playscale gunship, but the UCS one has kind of taken out that chance for us, unfortunately. While the UCS gunship is cool, it's not great for mocks and stop motion because it's just too big for minifigures. Now at number 5 here, we have a turbo tank. And while this set, I think, could have a really great minifigure selection, LEGO made one pretty recently, and I kind of doubt they're ready to make one again. But the figures I think we could put in the turbo tank would be young Hera and Chopper, who appeared in the show and are really iconic characters. And then in that set also you could put some Phase 2 clones, maybe that Imperial commander who was at the scene as well. I think there's some really good minifig potential, but I just don't think LEGO's willing to jump the gun and make this set since they made one only a few years back. Now the last of these 3, this little mini section if you will, this is one I think actually has some potential. It's the ATT. The last one came out in 2013 and it was a mighty fine set, but now it's too expensive for most people to get their hands on, and it's really time for a remake, or at least a re-released version, since the 2013 was really nice in the scene that it was in. I know I've said this for basically every set, but I really want some Phase 2 clones. I don't really want to blow all my money on Bricklink. So I think Phase 2 clones should appear in a lot of sets in the Bad Batch wave, and I think this is a set which could include a few of them too. Moving on to number 4. This is another 2-in-1 kind of deal, and I think there is a chance for the battle packs next year to either be a Phase 2 clone battle pack that comes with Phase 2 clones and Phase 2 shock troopers, because they appeared a bit in the show. As far as the build goes, I would expect some kind of little speeder, or maybe even a little command post. It really depends on what scene they're basing it off of. I would hope they wouldn't do some kind of mini-scale ATT like they tried to do with the Mini Republic gunship they did in the Jedi and Clone Troopers battle pack, which was just, it was atrocious. Now, my other idea is there could be a TK-14 early phase Stormtroopers battle pack that comes with maybe 3 or 4 Stormtroopers, or if it was 3, maybe an officer or something like that. Those are just 2 really easy battle packs for LEGO to make, and ones that people would really like to see, and it just makes a lot of sense. Now at number 3 here, actually I have 2 more battle pack ideas. I think there could be a chance of us getting a battle pack with the gray Phase 2 clones that Crosshair had as his squad. Now I have an idea further up the list here which would include the squad also. So I think this is kind of either this set or that set's going to happen, but I think a battle pack with these troops would be really cool. And you could add some really nice custom weapons in there if you're LEGO, even though they probably wouldn't. Now, the other side of this is I think there's a Dark Trooper battle pack coming in 2022. Now, I think LEGO might just do a Bad Batch one since they showed up in the Bad Batch, or they might just do one based off The Mandalorian. Either way, I think it's going to happen, and they could easily tie it into the Bad Batch because Dark Troopers appeared in the show. Now, if they did do one off of the Bad Batch, I wouldn't expect them to recolor the black to light gray. I expect LEGO to just keep them black, because sometimes they just do stuff like that, and while nobody's really happy with it, that's just what we have to expect at this point. The last 2 here, I think, have a really solid chance of happening, and they're also 2 really cool ideas. So let me know what you guys think, because I think these sets are really cool. I was looking for some stuff for my last Bad Batch set ideas video. I was trying to look at some kind of meme of Kamino getting destroyed, because you know how funny that was. But I came across an image of this really nice downscale Kamino, and I think that could potentially be the next May 4th promo set, because they really like making these little landscape diorama kind of things. And next year, not only will it make sense to do a Bad Batch May 4th promo, it will also be the 20th anniversary of Episode 2, and Kamino was also in Episode 2. So you could be able to tie it into 2 separate parts of Star Wars, and fans would absolutely love it. Kamino's a great planet, and I really think this image could capture exactly what they put in it. They'd put in the water, some of the buildings, and maybe a Venator just hanging out above it. I think that would make a lot of sense, and a lot of people would like that, even though we just want to make May 4th great again. Now guys, my number 1 prediction for 2022, I really think this is going to happen, and if it doesn't, it would be very disappointing. But it's an Imperial attack shuttle. It's that gray shuttle that Crosshair and his boys have been flying around in for basically the entire Bad Batch. It's a great set that we haven't seen since, I believe, 2011 or 2009. It's a really old set that they'd reskin, make it gray. It'd be really easy for them to design because they already have a pre-existing model. Definitely need some updates, but it wouldn't need a whole lot of color, just some gray. I'd expect to see Crosshair and a few of the gray Phase 2 clones in this set. Now, I'd love to see Crosshair in something other than his Imperial outfit, since that's already in the Bad Batch. It would be great if we saw him in his black outfit that he wears underneath his armor with maybe an Imperial logo on it that he is seen wearing in some of the last episodes. It looks really nice, and it would be nice to change it up from the Bad Batch shuttle. I'd expect the set to be like $100, $120, depending on the size. And it would make a really nice kid set, and also for me, which is the reason that I get bullied every day. Anyway, that's it for my top 10 Bad Batch predictions or set ideas. I think some of these sets have real potential, and some of them are just really fun to speculate about. Hopefully they don't wait until 2023 to make these sets. Once LEGO releases them, we'll be talking about them, so I'll see you guys then.